Alright, we're going to look at Stonemist Castle right in the center of EVG. This keep gets about 27 supply per minute if both the dolyaks from both your supply camps make it every time unupgraded. Of course, you can take any supply camp and all of those will feed to Stonemist Castle. Of course, the dolyak won't typically make it if it's from an enemy supply camp you've captured anyway. So there's 3 outer gates for Stomemist, there's 3 inner gates, and there's a lot of walls along the outer. So there's the southwest outer, there's the southeast outer, there's the north outer. We're going to start out with the southwest outer right now. I'm going to go right up top of this and we'll take a look at it. Now you'll notice this wall can be trebbed from Wildcreek. If you look right where I am here, if your treb's hitting here, you'll knock down this wall and this wall. And in fact, they're both being trebbed right now. I didn't notice that, but that's what's happening, and you're hitting both walls at once. So it's very tough to keep the walls up. Now here's the Southgate. Not a lot of great siege spots for arrow carts. The best one would be, I would say, kind of right here. Then just use, you might need a Control Shift H and then hit over there. If you were to place one like right here, it would be not too hard for them to AoE. And then same thing, you could even put an arrow cart here. And you could even put one here. But there's not going to typically be much arrow carts along the south outer or any outer because it's just so big they can just switch gates or walls. Now we're looking at Southgate next. This is going to be south inner. Just real quickly, here it is. Here's the gate and there's the wall. So if you catapult that wall for south wall, then you can use those catapults also on the gate so that they can just be put to even more use. And if you want to see what it looks like up top the south inner, here it is. You can definitely put some arrow carts up here like this. You can build a gate treb, absolutely. You typically don't end up repelling a Zerg at the outer of Stonemist. It's usually at the inner because by the time, this is just so big to have scouts check it, by the time you get there it's too late for the outer. So you end up just worrying about the inner for the most part, which is one big reason why this doesn't get held very long. Here's the southeast outer. Looks just like the southwest outer. It's really the same thing. Of course, there's walls all around here. And Durios can treb Stonemist Castle from the Lord room of it. There's a wall here, there's a wall here. So if they treb right here, they're hitting both walls. If you also notice, this wall and this wall are close to each other. So if they treb right here, they're also hitting 2 walls. So you can take down a lot of walls with Durios just from trebbing it. We're going to go make our way north now. If I can Heartseeker correctly, which I clearly can't. We're going to look at the north outer gates and then we'll look at the... Well, we are just passing by northeast outer. There's northeast outer gate. There's northeast inner gate, northeast inner, northwest inner, south inner. Here's north outer. Looks just like the others. And remember, actually this is kind of important. I'll go up top here because what I want to say about this, you can treb Stonemist Castle from Red Keep. Like you can have a trebuchet there or there. I would recommend putting it there and then hit your treb there. You hit this wall and that wall. Problem with this right here is you'll be hitting this wall easy, but this wall is kind of further back, so you can't hit both of those walls from Red Keep. So you'll want your trebuchet, if you are red, to be right there. Here's a look at south outer, by the way. Excuse me, north outer. My sense of direction's bad. If you look at here where you would be trebbing, you would be trebbing right where I'm standing now from the keep, and you can hit this wall and this wall at the same time with the same shot. So that'll take down those walls pretty quick. In fact, see Asaros, they probably got in here through their treb through southwest outer or something like that. But of course, because you can treb, now I'm just going to go straight to the champ to take a look at this. You can walk all the way around here and get in through multiple ways. Because you can treb Stonemist Castle from like these outer towers and even from Red Keep, you don't typically hold the walls, so that the outer walls will, you cannot just keep trying to repair the walls if they're being trebbed. You have to take down the treb, and if it's in their keep or if it's in an updated tower, that just makes it take forever to take down the treb. So here's kind of where the champion is. You can go up top. There's 3 floors. We'll take a look at those now. But because it does get Stomemist gets trebbed, you typically don't hold it, and it's also because it's in the middle. All it takes is an enemy Zerg to hit your side and an enemy Zerg to hit Stomemist at the same time, and it's gonna flip. Here's the second floor. There's not much to it. If you are a Mesmer, you could hide here. I like to do this spot and get in your endless black wagon tonic or something so your name's smaller. I'm gonna go right up top to the 3rd floor, which is actually pretty important for Stonemist Castle, though if you're not trying to hold it for any sort of extended length of time, you may not even worry about this floor at all. So this floor has Mystic Forge, which is not really that important, but also has these 5 little areas, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, where you can build trebuchets. I'm going to go ahead and look at them now. Of course, if you're on 3rd floor, you can fire siege on the 2nd floor. But we're going to go look at this trebuchet spot real quick. You just keep going here. And there's Durios, so if I were to build a treb here, I could treb down Durios. Just treb over there. I can hit 2 walls at once with my treb, and there's nothing they're going to do about it unless they flip Stomemist. So if I'm trying to hold this at all, then I would consider building a treb. If I've got no intention of holding Stonemist Castle, I'm going to just disregard this. And I can also build a treb here, or treb here. I can treb in Zalius. I can treb Wildcreek. I can treb Cloven from here. And that's how those work. Or if I'm a Mesmer that's hiding and I want to port my Zerg in, what I'll end up doing is I can just take this jump right down here. You don't even need the fall trait. I survived with plenty of health. And then you just keep going all the way down and then you port your team in. That's how Stonemist Castle works. It's huge, so there's tons of places that Mesmers can hide, and it can take some time sweeping, so you don't always spend an extremely long period of time sweeping. You can have up to 1,000 supply for starting, but if you're not trying to hold it, because it's so tough to hold, and it also, when you get this Stonemist Castle, it'll decrease the supply that the outer towers get from the yaks. So for us, let's say we have Durios, this yak goes to Durios, and then it goes back. When it's going back, it goes 3.5 times the speed it goes to Durios. Then it just goes like this, and it's a really quick route. It gives Durios about 14 supply per minute. But when you capture Stonemist, then that yak, after it goes to Durios, it'll go all the way to Stonemist Castle before respawning. So the outer towers actually get about half as much supply per minute from the yaks as they get when you don't have Stomemist. So having Stomemist slows down the upgrades of the outer towers, and the outer towers usually aren't upgraded because they flip more often. It will not affect the inner towers or the amount of supply that your keep gets. But if you're not trying to hold this, then you specifically will try to drain the supply after you capture it, and people will even talk to the upgrades person and they'll buy an upgrade. I'm not about to waste 50 silver because I'm poor, but they will buy this upgrade to have the workers drain the supply so that when whichever side flips this, they don't get supply back. Because if you give supply to a team that flips this, then they can build alphas or omegas. They can go to whichever supply depot they want on the outer that's close to the tower or keep they're about to go to, and it's not a far walk in golems when you're walking from Stomemist. So that's a big reason why you want to make sure Stomemist supply is drained if you're not trying to hold it. Of course, once you make the decision to drain it, you're probably not going to be holding it, because you don't have supply to use defensive siege, so unless your commander keeps going over there and blobbing it, it'll flip. And in terms of whether or not you decide whether or not you want to build a trebuchet up here, of course you need to be the commander if you're going to do that, because it just takes, well, it doesn't take that long. You have a supply depot up top, so you can definitely still do that. But the way you decide whether or not you want to build a treb up there, typically what you'll do, if one of these outer towers is fully upgraded or if it's fortified, then it's even better to treb it, because that way you have a way to already enter it after you give it enough time to be trebbed. And fortified walls cost more supply to repair in full than basic. So especially if you're trebbing 2 walls at once and they're both fortified, you'll be draining tons of supply from the towers. So it's better to treb something that's upgraded than something that's not upgraded. And it also, obviously, you can get in there without having to bother with the siege and worry about it being upgraded because your trebber took the time to treb it down. But that's the overview of Stonemist Castle. you guys enjoyed it, and thanks for watching.